Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chesswise. Today we are at the next topic, that is the endgame studies explained, and we are at the 32nd position of our topic. Today we have got a position of two pieces versus rook and pawn. We see that the black king is somewhat trapped and white uses this fact to convert the position to a win. We can see easily that once the pawn on d3 is lost, all black has to do is give up his rook for bishop and knight to secure a draw. Also, the move g4 and the advance of the g pawn is somewhat threatening. Let's look at some ideas to try to trap the king. If white goes for the move bishop f8, idea bg7 and to get the knight for a mating net, then bishop f8, then just rook d3, and we see that the knight cannot go to d6 and it is too slow. Knight f7, bg7 is not going to happen that easily, and knight will take some more time to reach h6. Black can just go g4 in that position. Rook d6 if he takes, then also he can get a draw very easily. Finding the first move here is not that difficult, but there is a very important analysis. So the first move is e5. Many must have spotted this very easily. When we see that d3 is protected, f into e5, then b5 check, kg8, bishop takes the rook, and the bishop can just move away and white can win with his extra pawn on d3. So knight e5, and now this rook should look for ways to stop the checks which are going to happen in future. Let's say black goes rook d5 in order to understand what is the threat. I hope everyone knows to knight e5, rook d6, knight f7, kg8, and the rook is lost. So knight e5, rook d5, knight f7 check, king g8, knight h6 check, forcing the king on h8, and here very important move, just the bishop goes to e7. Bishop f8 allows the move rd7. Even though it can be winning, but b7 is very simple. The rook cannot guard the f6 pawn anymore, and bishop f6 will be made. Let's play the moves. Knight e5, if rook d5, then nf7 check, kg8, knight h6 check, king h8, and very simple and effective be7. The bishop is keeping guarded the d6 and the f6 squares. Rook cannot support from f5, rook can't go to d6, to g4, just bishop f6 and checkmate. After knight e5, we know the threat now. So black's move becomes very obvious. Black plays the move rook h4. There are two ways to get to the same position actually. Other option is king g8, to which also white has to play knight f7, and we will transpose to the line rook h4. Instant rook h4 also leads to the same position after knight f7, kg8. But direct kg8 is a better move order. Here also we must note that rook d3 is not possible. Rook d3, knight h6 check, king h8, b7. This time there is the move rook f3, but the rook has gone away from the d7 square now. So comes bishop f8, and these pawns are in fact helping the white king because the rook is not able to give check because of his own pawns. And next move bg7 will be made. Let's go to the main variation now. Black played the move rook h4, and now white simply has the move knight h6 check. When rook into h6, king h6, and here white has to be slightly careful. It looks like an easy win, but little care is needed. After kf7, d4, ke6, and here white to play, white has to find the bishop position properly. So bishop has to come to h2 or g3. Further from the king, the better. The bishop can come to this diagonal and stop the advance of the black pawns and protect his own pawn both. The move bc5 would lead the position to a drawn territory, because now after g4, kh5, g3, kh4, g2, white will have to move the pawn to d5 in order to let the bishop control G1 square, and after KD5 we see a drawn position here. So goes to H2. Now KD5 BG1, and here we see that the white king is about to go to G6 and he is going to win one of the pawns, and the other pawn will be easily stopped by the bishop. After G4, KH5, F5, KG5, KE4, white can simply wait here in H4. Now the F pawn cannot move because G4 would be taken, G pawn itself cannot move, and any advance by the king to F3 just allows D5. And here white is way ahead in the race. After D5, KG2, the bishop can simply go to A7. Even the move D6 would win. After D6, KG1, D7, king has to again go to F2 when D8 queens, and the pawn is still just on the 6th rank. After the move G3, and white will win the game very easily. And if black decides to wait here with his king on E6, then KG6, and soon we will see that black will be in a zugzwang now. After the move KE7, we can try to snatch the E7 square by BH2, KD6, waiting on the diagonal, BG3, KE7, and now the pawn moves to D5. This is a very ideal situation. The pawn and bishop controlling the different colors. Pawn is standing on the other color, so D6 is protected by the bishop, and pawn is guarding the C6 and the E6 squares. And now white will force the black king to leave his own pawn, and the position is winning. After G4, king F5 or bishop F4, white will win the F pawn. So here white could play bishop F4 if he wants to win the F6 pawn easily, and white wins the game. I hope you are finding these lessons useful and instructive. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.